Hello everybody and welcome back inside of the Roger studio for more of North Stars Noise. I'm your host Matt Sanderson and this is our final show to wrap up the regular season for the Owen Sound Bug Juice Senior B North Stars. They've had a very good season as of lately, and let's take a look at the standings and where everything sits currently right now. It is probably the tightest that it's been for quite some time between the four teams that are going to be in the playoffs. And you take a look here, it's the Six Nations Rivermen and Oakville Titans both tied with 11 wins, 22 points on the season. Owen Sound has only 18 points right now. They're 9-5. Brooklyn is 8-5 on the season. They have 16 points, and then the Annasport James Gang and KW Velocity did not make the playoffs. And there's only 5 games actually remaining on the upcoming schedule. Owen Sound has their final 2 games of the season, and those come this Friday night tomorrow against the Brooklyn Merchants, and then Saturday in Six Nations. And this is interesting, the way that these playoffs are actually rounded out, seeing as Owen Sound, their final 2 games, Brooklyn is only 2 points behind them, and if they were to lose out, Brooklyn realistically could jump over top of Owen Sound and take 3rd place. But as it currently sits right now, Owen Sound does have 3rd locked up. It doesn't seem like they will be able to advance forward, only because of tiebreakers between them and Six Nations and Oakville, due to the fact that they have a couple more losses head-to-head against those teams. So even if Owen Sound were to win out and have 22 points and be tied with the other 2 squads, they would still finish in 3rd place right now. So it's a little bit interesting to see how everything's going to break down. We'll find out what the playoff structure or what the playoffs will entail, who will be playing who after this weekend. It looks like as of right now, it'll be 1-4 and 2-3. So Owen Sound will take on Oakville in the first round of the playoffs, which will be a very tough task. But let's take a look at around the scoring leaders around the league. And as we flip over there, Cree Blakely from the Oakville Titans and Dylan Goddard from the Brooklyn Merchants both have 51 points on the season. You have Eddie Renault in there with Dan Mickle, from Owen Sound. He's got 47 points. Gabe Abram has 45. Brendan Welsh and Sean Lance both have 43. Jeff Swift has 39 points. And then Liam Osborne from Brooklyn has 38. And Andy Campbell, who was a former Owen Sound North Star, actually has 35 points and rounds out the top 10. Let's take a look at Owen Sound's scoring, and Dan Mickle leading the way there, 47 points for him, and then Brendan Wells, Sean Lance, Jeff Swift. And then there's a gap from that 39 to 27 points. Mike McLeod, Brady Hesseltine, Zach Thompson, Lachlan Elder, Wyatt Barfoot, and Spencer Elder round out your top 10 there. Those top 4 guys, though, Owen Sound's going to be heavily reliant on them moving forward this season. And if you don't already know, you're kind of wondering why there's a couple names not on there. Jeff Ivey and Colin Maudsley are no longer on the team for the rest of the season due to work and school commitments. So we obviously wish them all the best. And it would be very nice to have both of those 2 gentlemen in this lineup as well. But nonetheless, that's why we ended up picking up Jeff Swift and Dan Mickle. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Owen Sound coming off of a very tough loss where they had a 6-3 lead last weekend against the Oakville Titans, and Oakville came all the way back and won 7-6 there. That was a tough loss, but nonetheless, it's over, and it's time to move on to these final 2 games where you want to lock up some W's and then go into the playoffs on a high note. So Owen Sound looking to put their best foot forward in this postseason. So we'll be back next week on the show, more of kind of what's going to happen there in that first round series, and we'll have a little bit more to talk about with those games as well. Thank you very much for joining us here on North Star's Noise.